All right, guys, so the video I made that showed off these training boards is pretty popular, and I got a few requests about doing a post that shows off more of the board, maybe take some still pictures so people can blow them up and look at the components, and some requests for some diagnostic stuff. I'm going to do a real quick overview of the heart of the system, which is the air compressor and the air dryer supplying air to these tanks. The air compressor, of course, is the heart of the system. If you look up here in the air compressor, they've got the cover off of the unloading valve so you can kind of see how it operates. The unloading valve basically is what's telling this air compressor to build air pressure to send to the tanks or just to release air pressure and not build it. The unloading valve is controlled by the governor. The governor in this case is mounted to the side of this air dryer, but sometimes the governor may be actually on the actual compressor, it may be on the frame somewhere, but it's not always in this position on the air dryer. But you can see that there's a black line that comes off of the governor, this guy right here, and it goes up to that air compressor and goes in right here, and that's what's controlling that unloading valve. So there's a spring inside here that you can, on some of them are adjustable, some of them aren't. But let's say you've got that spring adjusted to where it takes 120 psi of air pressure to compress it. Whenever it reaches that, we call that cutout pressure. So it reaches 120, the signal gets sent to open the unloading valve and you go into cutout. And then now you're not going to build any more air pressure. As the air pressure starts to drop, that spring is going to start to come back out, and eventually you're going to cover up this port. This guy is going to close again, and you're going to start building air pressure, and that's called cut in. So cut in is when the governor tells the air compressor to start building air pressure, and cut out is when it tells it to stop. The other thing that happens is at the bottom of this air dryer, there is a purge valve. That purge valve opens because the governor will send it a signal every time it reaches cutout pressure. That air signal is going to activate that purge valve, and you're going to hear the psh of the purge. I'm not really good at impressions, but psh or whatever, right? So this is where it comes in as a good diagnostic tool, because if you hear frequent purging, that is a sign that you're reaching cutout pressure a lot. And the only reason you should be reaching cutout pressure a lot is if you're going from cut out to cut in to cut out. And that's only because maybe you're doing a lot of braking applications, using a lot of air pressure. But if you're not doing that and you hear that frequent purging, that's a sign that you have an air leak somewhere in your supply system, somewhere in the system it's leaking air, causing you to go down to cut in and back up to cut out repeatedly, which is causing this thing to purge every time it reaches cutout pressure. So if you hear it, then that's a sign to maybe do some leak tests. And maybe in a future video, I'll show you guys what some of the common leak tests that you can do on an air brake system are. All right. So like I said in the last video, if you guys have more air brake questions, I was surprised by how popular that video was. But I guess a lot of people want to understand how their air brakes work, and I understand that. So let me know in the comments, just like on the last one, if there's more that you want me to get into that's a little bit different than this one. But this won't be the last one, because I realize you guys want to see more of these.